he announced the other day that they have a war on the epidemic of opiates. Mm-hmm. No wonder fucking people are taking opiates.
To cope. We're trying to cope with the bullshit.
With the bullshit. The world is not for. It's not the world, but let's just say America is not in the hands of the citizens. I don't feel like in the least bit that we are in control of what happens in America.
You saw how they basically forced him to say that it's an epidemic going on right now in the United States. Like he didn't, like they've been telling him to say this for a while, and I guess he refused to say it. And then one day he was just like, there's an epidemic. Heroin, opiate,
the biggest magnitude,
and it's not just the United States, it's the world. And it's just like, nigga, like they've been trying to get you to say this for weeks upon weeks now. Yeah. What was different from last week than it is this week? Like I'm reading, they saying that compared to like 1999, heroin overdoses, opiate overdoses is like up by like four times that of 1999. Yeah,
they said like what, like in every 3 days, like 100 people die, something like that.
Yeah, some kind of opiate overdose. So they were saying, I was looking at that, man. They was talking about different causes of that. One of the causes is that the drug companies is pushing the doctors to prescribe opiates. So they're the doctors are getting kickbacks to prescribe. Hey, we both wrong.
No, I was about to be right. I was like, I corrected you, nigga.
So the doctors getting kickbacks, man. They pay millions of dollars to doctors all across the United States to prescribe opiates. Yeah. And I'm guessing it's for pain. It's for, well, I guess opiates for the most part is for pain.
It's for pain. Yeah.
So they prescribing this shit and motherfuckers is dying, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of it is prescription medication. I mean, they talking about heroin now.
They talking about heroin. They talking about, you know what I'm saying, all this other shit that, I mean, painkillers, you know what I'm saying, codeine, all this type of shit that, you know what I'm saying, affects your nervous systems to, you know what I mean, trick the body into thinking everything's all good.
All right, so when you think about drugs, like when I think about drugs, or when I think about drugs, I know a lot of white folks. Yeah. And I know more black folks than I do white folks, right? So when I
know a lot of new gen black folks though. So there's a difference.
You could probably speak to that then. Okay. Or speak to this whole shit. Yeah. When I think about drugs, air quotes, I think about weed, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the people that I know and what the people that I know do.
Of your age.
Of my age, a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. I don't know, like
younger generation. I say between, you know what I'm saying.
So like I said, I'm gonna speak to what I know.
Yeah.
So what I know of, when people say, you know what I mean, drugs, so to say, you know, people that smoke weed, people that drink alcohol, like the normal shit, bro. I don't know nobody that takes cocaine.
I do.
I don't know nobody that's out here popping pills.
I do.
Popping Xans and all that shit. I don't know none of that shit, right?
I do.
So when I think about that, I'm thinking about, when I say drugs, I'm thinking about drugs. I'm thinking about black folk drugs. Weed and alcohol.
And you be wrong as fuck.
All right. So you speak to this whole heroin situation. Because when I look at it, I would like to think, or I would like to say that weed, alcohol, shit like that's normal. That's natural.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I could never see myself sticking a fucking needle in my vein, bro. Right.
And because that thought is far from your mind, right? And that thought is far from
to get high. Like, how do you come to yourself to do that for the first time? Like, yo, nigga, I'm gonna put this shit on this spoon. Now, we gonna heat this shit up.
Now, imagine
cool it down and stick a needle in your fucking vein, bro.
Right. Now imagine speaking to somebody like yourself or like me, and saying the sentiments that you just said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having that thought process that you have right now, and somebody turn around and said, just like you, say, yo, that shit is lit, man. I've tried that, man. That shit is fun.
I'll be like, nah, son.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
You could be like, nah, son, but they're gonna do that anyways, and they have done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these are not just white kids. These are black kids, and I'm not gonna you know what I'm saying, say anything about the people that I know that did it. You know what I'm saying? But it's people that shocked me to say that they've tried cocaine, they tried all these drugs, and you know what I'm saying, they had all these experiences, and they are currently having them. You know what I'm saying? I just got put onto the term, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I didn't know ego death. Like, you know,
ego death. Eagle or ego?
Ego.
What's that?
So it's like when you take a certain drug and you're sitting there and it takes you to a place where you're just like, you feel like shit about yourself, and you're just so heavy and down about yourself, where it's like your entire being, your entire ego just dies. You know what I'm saying?
So
when you come up out of this shit,
is that a good feeling?
My nigga, according to them, you know what I'm saying? They put, that's what trips me out, is that they put terminologies and shit behind, you know what I'm saying, these experiences. You know what I'm saying? They're having educated experiences on these bullshit ass drugs. You see what I'm saying? And they're making it, it's becoming a thing, dude. It's becoming like a thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Where I've seen, you know what I'm saying, somebody as smarter than you and I. You know what I'm saying? More accomplished than you and I. That takes the shit. And you're like, why? You know what I'm saying? And they're just like, yo, just wanted to have fun. I wanted to see what it was about. And you know what I'm saying? Anytime me and my crew get together, this is what we do. And I'm not just saying that to sell my point. I'm saying that because that's some real shit.
All right, for me,
you know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like our gen maybe think that, yo, just weed, like we don't do all that coke, heroin, injection shit, like, yo, fuck all that shit. But there's real people out here addicted to all this bullshit, flocka, all this kind of bullshit. Right. There's people out here that, you know what I'm saying?
For me,
the world's changed.
The way my mind works, right?
Yeah.
It's easier for me to smoke something, pop a pill, or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But for me to take a needle and stick a needle in my vein, bro,
they don't got to no more though.
That's a little. That's that. And okay, so no I might be ignorant to how people doing heroin, if they smoking heroin now, or however they doing it. Because if you think about it, you think about like Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Well, what Raekwon said, niggas smoking weed mixed with coke, blah 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 blah. So they was doing that shit.
I had a barber. I walked out of the shop. This nigga sprinkled coke in his blunt, rolled it up, and smoked it. I was like, all right, you ready? I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Deuces.
Peace.
Throwing up the deuces.
Chucking the deuces.
Yeah, but like. I guess just from my mind, or just how my mind works, and it's just like, all right, if I'm doing drugs or I want to try some shit, all right, you can smoke that, all right, we can smoke it.
Yeah.
You put it on your tongue, okay, all right, I might fuck around and do it, like, but put it in your veins, bro?
Nah, but these opiates, man, these are pills, these are painkillers, these are, you know what I'm saying, these are things that people are addicted to.
But they say specifically heroin right now.
But what I'm saying though, these heroin, all these, they're getting put into these medicines. You know what I'm saying? They're breaking chemically enhanced shit. You know what I'm saying? The people are taking it in other kind of ways. You know what I'm saying? They're not injected into it. They're taking the same bullshit, but they're making it, you know what I'm saying, in a different form.
All right, so when we talk about that now, Trump came out and he was like, "Oh, you know, this is an epidemic, blah blah blah."
I seen something the other day.
It's a natural.
Not to cut you off, but it was like on I think it was on CNN, where there was a big manufacturer. I forgot where it was. Don't quote me, but I forgot where it was. Where she was like, "Yo, 10 out of 3 qualified candidates failed the drug test because of opiate usage." So she was saying like they can't get qualified people to do a high paying job no more in these times because 3 out of 10 of them are failing the drug tests. Imagine that. Qualified now. These motherfuckers are qualified to do the job. High paying job, but they can't give them the job because the insurance companies won't allow them to fucking accept somebody that does drugs.
That's crazy. They said that the shit is getting so bad now that basically there's I want to say it might be Narcan or some shit like that. I don't know what the name of the drug, but basically there's a drug that they use to counteract the or like a heroin overdose. I believe it's Narcan, but I might be wrong. But they saying it's getting so bad all over the United States that basically you can go to the pharmacy and get this drug without a prescription.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it's getting right now.
Yeah. I believe it, man. And so, somebody's making mad money off of this. Okay,
so I didn't do too much research into it, and I'm looking at it now, and what I'm seeing is
people are using education to capitalize off of us, man. That's what it is.
What I'm seeing, though, is with this whole heroin epidemic is that the majority of the people that's being affected is poor white people.
Yeah, that's important to mention. I forgot. That was my point I wanted to get into before we started this conversation, where people don't think that this is just a white thing or a black thing. This is an everybody thing, and you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you brought up that point. Like, these are white people that's addicted.
Yes.
As well as black, though.
I'm not saying that there's no black folks, but I'm saying
and it's smart people that's taking this shit, though.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that the majority of I can't come up with no percentages or whatever, but the majority of the people that's being affected by this shit is white people.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it today, right? I'm thinking about it, Trump coming out and, we're going to come up with, what are you going to do, President Trump? We're going to do some legislation. We're going to write some stuff up and we're going to fix this. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to get legislation. We're going to come up with some stuff.
Right.
Fuck you talking about? You don't know what the hell.
We can't even fucking change Obamacare.
Yeah, but we gonna come up with some stuff
do something though
to fix this. So what I'm saying is that, and then I think we spoke about it off camera or whatever. Shout out to my folks out there on YouTube. We spoke about it a little bit, and we was talking about users, and me and you had the conversation, and we had a conversation on air I think before. But I'm looking at it. And I'm comparing it to the crack epidemic of the 80s. So just to shorten this conversation or to kind of get to the point, the crack epidemics of the 80s basically criminalized everything. And it caused them to write mandatory minimums if you possess amount of crack cocaine and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. Criminalized, criminal, because the whole crack situation was it was a majority black people that was being affected by it.
Right.
So now with this whole heroin / opioid situation going on, it's a majority of the white people that's being affected by it. I'm seeing a difference in the rhetoric.
Of course.
I'm seeing a difference in how they're talking about it. We need to find ways to help.
Of course.
Help. It's addiction. It's this.
But
it's that. But in the 80s, super predators.
Yeah.
Criminals.
Yeah.
Mandatory minimums.
Yeah. All right. So prior to getting to that, right? Our next subject, one of our subjects we're gonna talk about is on that cop that came up with the police and the police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all that, and they did a ride along with him. Did you see the ride along?
I didn't see the ride along.
All right. So basically in the ride along,
we're talking about Michael Wood Jr.
Yeah. So basically in the ride along, Michael Wood he really described, you know what I'm saying, scenarios where he was like a major narcotics investigator that got promoted, but they put him in the city of Baltimore to be a street cop.
Yeah.
To where now he has to bust small time drug deals and shit. Right? You know what I'm saying? But they put him in the, you know what I'm saying, the upper class area in Baltimore, where he didn't know that there was an upper class area in Baltimore, where he's like, holy fuck, there's like $500,000 to $1 million homes in Baltimore, and there's people out here with nice yards and these lovely homes and shit like that. And he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying, they putting strict quotas on him, you know what I'm saying, stats that, yo, you gotta make these amounts of risks, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
Yeah.
And he was like, to the point where he was like, I can't make these arrests in this community because white people that are doing wrong have resources.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They have ways to do it to where it's harder to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas though he was like, yo, if I need to make my stats, he's like, fuck it.
I know where to go.
I know where to go.
Yeah.
And he went to the black community where he could catch anybody on the corner doing drugs or selling drugs.
Yeah.
And that's where he bust to get his stats up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
and it's going on at the same rate that it is in the suburbs, and it's all happening at the same rate.
So it's not to say that, you know what I'm saying, like all people aren't doing drugs, because all people are doing drugs, but it's harder to catch people in the white community because they have their resources to avoid this. And you know what I'm saying, the public eye looks at them a little differently.
Did he explain what their resources were?
Nah, he didn't explain what the resources were.
Okay, he just said they had resources.
Like, look, they have resources. They got ways where I could, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to catch, you know what I'm saying, these white people on the corner selling dope, whatever, because they're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll come over to our house, hey, what's up, John? Hey, what up? And that's where they do the transaction. Whereas though, you know what I'm saying, in the poor, impoverished community, they're doing the transactions on the corner.
Yeah.
So it's different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's the same crime is happening in both sides. You know what I'm saying? Black people and white people are doing the same thing. Yeah. However, you know what I'm saying, I don't think Trump is willing, just like you said, he wasn't willing to even acknowledge this shit, let alone put any resources into it. Okay. Yeah, I know it's wrong to say, but you know what I'm saying, like it was easier back then for them to go after the black community because we're viewed as predators, and you know what I'm saying, poor communities, they're not really that slick about how they doing drug transactions. You see what I'm saying?
All right, so I mean, I know not that we got limited time or whatever the case is, but we want to kind of limit some of these conversations. Yeah. But
we keep it real, man. As long as we keeping it real, it could go on, man. Y'all fuck with us. Y'all fuck with us all the way. Fuck that.
Definitely. But I mean, it would take a long conversation to, like, we could literally sit here for 2 hours and talk about this one subject. Yeah. But the thing is that I just want people to just go and do the research on it. Yeah. Look at the headlines now compared to back in the 80s when it was black folks that was on crack. You got crack babies, this, that, and the third. All that led to more criminal legislation. All that led to, it didn't lead to any solutions.
Yeah, but back then we're talking about harsher drugs though, really and truly.
What was
we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, crack epidemic, people shooting up needles, you know what I'm saying, people coming down the block scratching and itching, you know what I'm saying, stealing and
heroin is the same thing, bro.
No, my nigga, it's not, because the drugs these people are taking, like I said, the reason why they're saying that there's an epidemic is because people that are qualified for jobs aren't able to get jobs because of their drug usage. That's what they say now. That's why it's an issue right now. That's why it's an issue.
It's not issue right now because people are overdosing and dying, bro.
Yeah, that
people
too. But at the same time,
to this shit.
They're addicted, but my nigga,
shit.
It's not the same shit because my nigga, they're addicted, but they're staying to themselves with this shit. You see what I'm saying? They are within their homes. Motherfuckers is taking this shit and chilling. Motherfuckers is sleeping, slumped out on this type of drugs.
So they're able to mask it a little bit better.
Crack and all that shit, niggas was like, yo, fuck it, I need more of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a different type of atmosphere.
It's not different, and I'm gonna tell you why it's not different. Yeah, it's easier to be addicted to this shit now,
right?
But it's just as addictive as crack cocaine, bro. Okay, it's easier to be on it now because of how you get it, right? Whether it's heroin, like I said, heroin, or however they shoot it up, or whatever the case is. Maybe I didn't do enough research and how the different ways they do it. But let's just say opiates, right? We talk about Xanax and this and that and whatever. Right. So all I need to do is go to my doctor and say, yo, man, I had this bad back injury. Right. I'm experiencing pain, blah, 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 blah. I milk this one doctor. This doctor say, you full of shit. I go and I see another doctor, and I go and see another doctor, and da-da-da-da. And basically until I fucking overdose, or I know somebody who actually is using this shit, and I steal it from I don't know if you saw the Ryan Leaf, the dude that, he used to play NFL football, whatever it is. He got addicted to painkillers and shit like that. So What I'm saying is that it's no different, bro. The thing is that they try to make it seem like it is different just because one situation, it was majority black folks addicted to the crack cocaine. And then now it's majority white folks that's addicted to the whole opiates and heroin and this, that, and the third. It's all the same shit, bro. It's all the same shit. Like you said, it's a situation where it's people that's maybe professionals, or it's people that have high education backgrounds, or this, that, and the third, or whatever. The only difference is the person that's addicted to it. It's no difference. It's all the same drug, bro.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000% on what you're saying, on the dynamics of it being all addictive drugs.
Yeah.
However, what I'm saying is the behavior of the people that's on these drugs are different.
I would still disagree with that.
I would say the painkillers and all that shit is meant to have somebody slump the fuck over.
Okay.
So wherever the fuck they at is where they staying at, my nigga. Back in the day, crackhead ain't staying to themselves. They come into where you at. You see what I'm saying? These painkillers and all that shit, they taking that shit and they slump the fuck over wherever the fuck they at.
Like you said,
what they saying is that this type of drugs is taking people that are intelligent and qualified to do jobs and to be valuable members of society, but we can't give them that title because they are addicted to a substance.
I don't know, man. Like I said, man, it's a difference between how the things are being labeled. It's a difference between the headlines. It's a difference between. I feel like what they're doing right now, as far as what I'm seeing, I feel like they're trying to get these people help. In the 80s, they wasn't trying to get people help. They was trying to lock people up.
Yeah, because like I said, these people that are taking these are more intelligent people. It's like you sent me a headline earlier today or whatever.
More intelligent people?
Oh, watch this now. Watch this. You sent me something earlier about, you know what I'm saying, the people that went to fucking damn near a college for fucking harvesting bud.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These and in their description, they're talking about politicians, they're talking about lawmakers, they're talking about, you know what I'm saying, college, high school graduate, people that are of somewhat intelligence taking paying money.
This is Amsterdam University.
Yeah.
It's a place where they go to learn about weed so that they can become investors, or they can open up their own weed shops and learn as much as they can about weed, so that they can go to one of these states where it's legalized and become prosperous. But go ahead.
Right. So
Amsterdam University.
The point I'm trying to make is that substance abuse, whether it be weed or anything else, is not just by poor, lonely people anymore. It's being abused by any and everybody.
But it always has been that way, though.
I know that, bro. It's always been any and everybody. But again, back to where the target was easier to put on us.
Yeah, so it was
easier to put a target on the backs of black folks.
And that's exactly what it is. You put the target on the black folks, like the dude said,
so,
like Michael Wood.
So what are you saying? What are you saying then? Ultimately, what are you saying?
Ultimately, I'm saying that right now it's a compassion that's out there for these people. They're looking like, okay, I'm sorry for these people that's out here addicted to heroin, addicted to painkillers, addicted to all of this stuff.
So
and
you saying fuck them all?
No, I'm not saying that. They're saying the government
you wanted
is saying,
to apologize for how they treated black people before they fucking start treating.
Of course, I want them
else.
to acknowledge that there's a difference, that the way the shit is going, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So what are you saying?
But let me not say that. Let me not say acknowledge. I want people to be aware, because what I'm saying is that it's the same fucking epidemic. They're all addicts. One was considered a poor drug, just like when you think about crack cocaine in the 80s, right? It's it's cocaine in rock form. So you smoke it instead of snorting it. And supposedly it's more addictive than it is cocaine. But in the 80s, cocaine users was considered a high class drug. because I guess it was more expensive, this, that, and the third. So if you, just to go back to the laws or whatever, the same amount of cocaine possession, if you think to crack possession and cocaine possession, the same amount, let's say if it's 10 grams or whatever, I'm going to jail for 10 times as longer for crack for the same amount as cocaine. So I might do 1 year for this cocaine possession, but I'm doing 10 years for crack cocaine possession. One is a black drug, air quotes. The other one is a white drug. Right. And even to go to another article, I remember I was reading an article the other day. I forgot exactly what it was. Where they was talking about like a cocaine house or some shit like that, right? And it was basically this rich white girl that she was a doctor, right? She used to go to this house or whatever it was, and she used to take cocaine at this house. But the difference between this house and where people in the hood go to take crack is this was like a $1 million fucking apartment in Manhattan, right? But I go to the crack house to smoke crack in Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
My nigga.
So the whole headline was different. It was like, oh, you know, it's an upscale place, and it's a doctor that was taking the drugs and this, that, and the third. It's like, it don't matter who is taking the shit. All I'm saying is that they need to treat people like it's addiction, not like they're fucking criminals, bro.
I think they've been knowing that.
Of course they've been knowing that. But all I'm trying to do with this conversation is I'm trying to highlight the differences. One, it's majority white people that's being affected right now, and it's labeled totally different. Another story. This officer saw, he's a father, and this, that, and the third, and we need to do something to help him. But in the 80s, motherfuckers was fathers and mothers and shit like that, and y'all was throwing them in jail. Y'all was creating laws and creating harsher penalties and all kind of shit like that, and you throwing people in jail for non-violent drug offenses.
All right, I'm gonna let you. All right, cool.
But
No, I agree with your point.
Okay.
So I want it to stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna counter. I got other, perspectives, but however, I agree with your point enough to say, like, yo, I want that shit to stay. I want that to be the lasting point. That, you know what I'm saying, black people are not treated fairly in any and every scenario that's out there.